Hello, welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I'm Terry. Jen will be here shortly. So, in the meantime, I will just say hello to Blue Eyed Screen, to Mike R, and to JB. Uh, until Jen gets here, this is going to be our usual awkward solo nonsense, but she should be here pretty soon. So, I will, for those who don't know, I will address the title. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about with The Lion, there was a comedian who said that the African chant at the beginning of The Circle of Life from The Lion King, the direct translation is, "Look, there's a lion, oh my God." And he's actually being sued for this joke because the person who wrote the song is claiming that it's like this holy worshipping song to like celebrate the king, and that his translation is taking all of the you know the grandness out of the composition. Um, Apparently, the actual translation, according to the composer, is "All hail the king, we all bow in the presence of the king." And he's actually being sued for $27 million, which honestly is almost as funny as the joke itself. I um I think that's amazing that this crazy person thinks he can get $27 million because someone made a joke about a song he wrote, was it like 30 plus years ago? That is absolutely absurd. Um, yes, and yeah, so that's what the title is referring to. I thought the joke was very funny, and then when I was watching Kirsha and she explained that there, oh, hello, Jen.
Hello. I have to confess, Terry. I was doing an outro on another one, told people where I was going to be. I even linked our channel, which took me a little bit longer than I meant to. And then I told them, listen, I really have to head off. If Terry's alone for too long, he's going to start listing off Pokemon characters. And I don't know if that's
Yeah,
a fact, but I was like, I better save him.
yes. Well, this is a dreadful stream if I'm on my own, so I'm glad that you made it.
I didn't mean to take that long. It's just sometimes when you do outros with people, like you have to politely let them do their outro. And
Yeah, I know.
and
Um,
you know, I love
but yes,
everybody that I stream with too.
and Frosted in chat says the Terry stands alone. Fortunately, not anymore. Jen did make it.
I did.
And hello to WR Corsten. So, how are you going, Jen?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I mean, I had a frustrating morning because my government is run by
Retards?
level 69 IQ people.
Yeah.
But then I cheered myself up by being on a stream, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going to be on Terry on a stream with Terry, and I wasn't sure if Hammer was going to be back, but I didn't want any pressure because we both know that like he's already kind of discussed that several times. So
Oh, yeah. I think he'll tell us when he's ready to come back. I don't think it's going to do any good to hound the poor man. Just let him recover in peace. But speaking of
hey,
that man, hello, Hannah.
hi, hello, sir.
Hello, give me just a second.
So, how are you feeling?
Hey. Will the real Hammer? I'm not pressuring you. I was just going to tell a joke. Will the real Hammer please stand up?
All right.
Don't actually stand up.
No. He'll pass out. So how are you going, Hammer?
I'm just trying to get everything straight here. Hang on a second.
Alrighty.
I'm also excited to hear you, Hammer. So
Yes. Order has been restored.
mm-hmm.
And hello to Green Badger Outdoors in chat. And people in chat are saying welcome back to Hammer. So it's good to know that he was missed.
I didn't even go to Eve this time. I know that's a joke at this point.
Yes.
Well, she's really busy. Like I think she's done like 1 or 2 streams with Sam lately, and I only know that because I stay up too late sometimes, and I'm like, when I see that they're up and streaming, it's my time to go to bed. I'm like, shit, I need to go to bed.
Fair enough.
Okay, I think I got everything straight.
Sounds good. I can hear you perfectly.
Hello, everybody.
Well, look who came crawling back.
Crawling. Absolutely crawling.
So how are you, Hammer? How's the recovery going?
I'm about half of what I used to be.
That's better than zero. It's
I can get in and out of bed. I can get in and out of the bathroom. I can feed myself, clothe myself. So all the basics are there. I guess about another month of exercise and I'll be going home.
okay. Because yeah, I mean, it's good that you can take care of like the basic necessities. Because I imagine that's fairly uncomfortable having to rely on nurses to like dress you and take you to the bathroom and things like that. So it's always good to gain that sort of autonomy back, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to picture you having to use a broom to push your bed to the bathroom just so you can one arm it to the toilet. Mobility's good.
It's baby steps. I'll get there. You just can't spend a week and be perfect. You know, it takes time.
No, it does take time.
You've been in the hospital for almost a month and then try to even walk, and it's just can't do anything.
I've got good news for you, Hammer. Jack Gunsky has entered the chat, so we're already going to end the stream. So you don't even have to strain yourself.
I can't stay very long as it is because I was able to find out the administrator password for the facility laptop.
Oh, God.
I'm not supposed to know it. So I'm not supposed to be able to do what I'm doing right now. So if anybody finds out,
yes, you'll get in trouble.
There's going to be problems. But it's kind of quiet right now, so I'm going to get away with it for a few moments. But I do got to get out of here.
All right. Well, it's good to hear you. Hear your voice, and sounds like things are heading in the right direction. So keep it up.
Let's see if I can get a minute here and find chat and say hello to everybody.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I've got.
Everyone in chat is very happy to see you, so you can take comfort in that you have been missed, and people are happy to see you doing better.
Oh, there we go. There's a chat right in StreamYards. Hammer is hacking the system. Jay Blizz, Clippers United Jack. Hello. I'm going backward.
Costin's like, I'm glad Hammer was forced to recover. He's not in Canada, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he was in Canada, then healthcare takes on a distinctly different tone.
Thanks, Scream.
And yes.
Thanks, GBO. I'm just rolling backwards. Just say thank you for everybody who's welcoming me back. Hey, Mike R.
Yeah.
All right. I think I got everybody. But hello, everybody. It's good to be back.
Yes, good to have you back, even if temporarily.
Yeah. Well, I'll be able to stop by for a little bit of time, depending on who's walking around every Wednesday. So right now it's kind of quiet at 9.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of in bed. So
well, obviously, you are more than welcome to jump in anytime you are able.
Awesome. All right, guys. Nice to see everybody again. I'm heading out.
All right.
Have a good stream.
Get better soon.
See you, Jen.
Take care of yourself. Stay warm.
Yes.
Yeah, a bunch of us had cold snaps. I just don't know who all had it. I just know Canada gets, fingers pointed at, like, stop sharing your snow.
Yeah, yes. And Gunsky is pointing out that he was in Canada a couple of days ago. Well, I'm just glad you didn't get sick, because then you would have needed health care, and I would no longer have a stream on Monday mornings. So yes, I'm glad you survived Canada.
Did you eat food at a Tim Hortons? Because like I got to tell you, that's probably a poor life choice nowadays.
I will allow Gunsky the opportunity to indulge us in his Tim Horton visitations or otherwise. But yes, as I was saying with the Lion King, that guy got sued for $27 million. I don't know if you heard me talking about that, Jen. And I think it's absolutely hilarious. I think it's insane that making a joke about a like 30-plus-year-old Disney song is somehow worth $27 million to this guy because he, discredited the song somehow. Or
He didn't even really discredit the song. Like his lyrics are off. Yeah, that is his joke. But the part where it's a lion, that's in the song. That's what it translates to.
Well, the point of contention is the guy who wrote the song says that, look, there's a lion, oh my God, is the literal translation, but the contextual translation is, where did I have it here? All hail the king, we all bow in the presence of the king. So the point of contention is the word, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly because I don't speak Swahili, but Ingonyama, strictly speaking, means lion, but the composer, like the guy who wrote the song, is arguing in context it clearly refers to king. Like, lion is the king of the jungle. He's using it as a metaphor to mean the king, not a literal lion. I think from what I've been able to glean, that's the argument being made by the guy who wrote the song.
It's still a little bit overreach. Like I understand that he's trying to keep it in context with the song, but even if you were to go to England, lion and king, yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of overlap because there's symbolism with like lion is actually a flag symbol, you know. Right. So like even in that context, like it's just a joke, bro.
Yes.
It is just a joke. It really is. And
but also the amount, like I could understand if he was suing for like, $10,000 because of whatever reason. That would still be stupid, but it would make a bit more sense. $27 million.
From a comedian, from a stand-up comedian, really.
Yeah. Like insane.
Like the guy is funny, but he's not like a Chris Rock level comedian, and I mean that. Like they really don't make the kind of money that people think that they do.
No, not at all. And the other thing is, he is giving the literal like you may not like the literal translation, you may say there's a cultural, contextual translation, but if what he said is factually true, if the word-for-word translation is in fact, look, there's a lion, oh my God, on what grounds can you claim he's doing anything wrong? He's just telling people what it means if you go, translate every word individually. Now, in fairness, I don't know South African law. Maybe South Africa, you can actually sue for $27 million over this sort of thing. If that's true, I am glad that I don't live there because that sounds insane. But you never know. I am not a South African lawyer. So it's possible the guy actually does have a case. Who the hell knows? Oh, and hello to Tia, who's in chat.
Hi, Tia.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And to answer Froster's question, Games with Terry is the stream that's on Monday morning. You silly Americans are so far in the past that I think it's still Sunday night for you. Oh, and hello to Six, who's also in the chat. Six. And apparently Gunsky did eat at a Tim Hortons. He also tried pizza. And Six is saying he got here after Jack, so he wins. Well, yes, because the stream technically shouldn't be going anymore. We should have ended it as soon as Gunsky got here. So Six is watching the bonus stream that exists after we should have ended.
Well, it's I was kind of giggling because Jack put context into where he was. So when I make the Tim Hortons jokes, I am kind of talking about our major cities because that's where we have the most influx of like places hiring foreign workers. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna call it for what it is. It was mostly pictures from like Toronto and bigger cities in Ontario because they have a lot more overlap with the US. So you get a lot more people from the US will go over and take pictures like that too, and then they share it online. And but if he's in PEI, they even their big cities are still smaller by per capita, so you do get a little bit more hometown
Okay.
culture. So their Tim Hortons are kind of like that. Like you're gonna get they're a little bit. Everybody still gets the frozen biscuits, the frozen bagels, the frozen donuts. We franchise. That's the franchise problem. But you're still gonna get more of the home bakers there.
Okay.
So hopefully he had a good experience. Not every Tim Hortons is shit.
Yeah, it's Jack. So I mean, I hope you had a terrible experience because I'm obliged to hope for that. But also hello to R2 Lee 2. He says hello Jen and Pace Dozzy Terry. But you know how you were mentioning foreigners? It turns out Japan hates them as much as we do. My Twitter has been basically all Japan all the time since they added the auto translate, and it's been glorious. They really, really don't like Indians and black people, and I'm sensing a kinship with the Japanese that I never knew I had.
They don't like people who are continuously rude. It's one of those things where like okay, yes, you do get some people from America and probably Canadians too, because it's not like we're, above it. We're a little bit obnoxious, but over time, culturally speaking, weebs will actually weed them out. Some weebs are obnoxious, and we acknowledge that they're obnoxious, and we weed them out because we want to enjoy a good holiday when we go to Japan.
Yeah, and I saw one video, and it was like this Japanese woman talking to a black person. It's like, "Get out, you ugly monkey!"
It's one of those rules with travel that, like, I'm glad I had some rules taught to me as a kid, and I say that because I was 20 at the time. My mom got a bonus from work, and so she gave some money to my brother, and then she found a travel package. So she took my grandmother and I to Europe, and we started off in Italy, in Rome.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you learn about Rome, don't touch anything because you don't know anything. What is historical? What is current day? Any rock could get you in trouble with their laws because it's disrespect to their culture and their history. And if you learn that just from a European standpoint, the part where you went to Asia, like Japan is an Asian country, and then you behave that way, and you thought, okay, these people are going to suddenly be nicer to you because you're a white ass. You're lucky you were in Japan, because other countries will hold you hostage and beat the shit out of you while they hold you hostage. Japan's just going to teach you how to eat like they do.
And yeah, as much as the focus is on black people, they've made it pretty clear that what they hate is not necessarily black people. It's anyone who disrespects Japanese culture. It's just that the people doing that are overwhelmingly black and Indian. So if Logan Paul went to Japan and fucked around, they'd hate him too. It's not only black people that they hate. It's just, if you're going to come here and disrespect our culture, then get the fuck out. And it just so happens that the majority of people that are disrespecting Japanese culture are black and Indian. And yeah, Dusky says they hate the people that don't observe the customs. Exactly.
It makes me feel for it, and I'm not meaning to glaze your tear. It's just, I know that you're a weeb, and I know that if you went to Japan, even if you didn't speak the language as perfectly as, everybody wants to speak it as well as we can when we go. But You never know until you're actually there that you sound like shit, and I think that's the truth of it.
Yeah.
But you're putting in the effort to try, and the Japanese want that. They want to see people who are willing to put in the effort to try. If every day you're putting in effort to try and you're trying to fit in and you're not making a jackass of yourself,
Yeah.
they're happy to have you.
Like I saw one Japanese guy who was saying that PewDiePie was like the ideal tourist, or not even tourist because he lives there now, but like immigrant.
Mhm.
It's like because he came there with his family and he's learning Japanese, he's obeying all the customs, he's trying his best to fit into Japanese life, and they're like, this, more of this. If everyone who came here was acting like this would be perfect. But then you get the Johnny Somali types who people have mentioned in chat. And yes, if you're going to go around and act like Johnny Somali, then you deserve to go to jail.
It really does make me feel frustration for and I'm calling out because I know that you're a weeb. I would call it Satsu too because he's a weeb. I know that like for Satsu, half of it isn't just the anime. The anime started it, but he also really likes the food culture there. You know,
Okay.
so if he went over, like he would absolutely have a blast. Yes, there's a language barrier. You
Right.
know, they know that, you know that. But as long as you're putting in effort and he would be all over learning the food. You know,
Sure.
instantaneously he's going to memorize food names and things like that, which is part of the barrier gap is learning that part of the language is okay. They're talking about that ingredient. They're talking about this instrument because that's your plating, you know? So like Satsu would learn quite quickly how to speak a lot of Japanese just based off of the kind of culture that he's into. And he's not a dick. Satsu, if you hear this, I appreciate that. Like, yeah, you have a sense of humor. You can crack jokes and stuff, but you
Yeah.
don't go out of your way to be rude to people. And that's honestly all that the Japanese are about politeness.
That was actually one of the culture clash things that I saw the Japanese talking about is Americans don't use polite language, and that's just like a language difference because in Japan they have like almost an entirely different language from what I can tell. When you're being like when you're talking to someone that you have to be respectful towards, like your parents or your boss or someone who is senior to you, you talk in a very, very different way than when you're talking to your friends. And English doesn't have anywhere near that level of distinction. Like you would use the same words when talking to your boss as talking to your friend. You would just, have a slightly more professional tone, but you wouldn't use an entirely different set of words. And I think that was not coming across because Twitter is like automatically translating between English and Japanese. It's translating them into the casual Japanese term, and I think that's what caught a lot of Japanese off guard.
So I'm going to respond to something that Tyr said, and in all honesty, what you're suggesting is honestly at least up to step 4 of what you really should be doing when you're doing anything where you're translating. Okay, it's not necessarily the best route because it's not as accurate as other sources. The Japanese will probably tell you that when you go.
Sure.
But at least you're translating something. So at least they know where you're starting. You're starting somewhere where they understand where you are so they can translate that part and then help direct you to better. I'm just saying because I watch more than a couple of channels where they basically tell you that Google's okay. Like it's a good start and it's going to get you to somewhere. And you're showing interest in the language, which means you're willing to learn.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just like a general trend because I know a lot of people say that the French are very rude, but I found that as long as I made a token effort to speak basic French, like I don't know very much French at all, but even just starting with parlez-vous anglais, that was enough. Okay, this is someone that is trying to meet me halfway. Or a tenth of the way because I don't speak any French.
It's reject. Hello, reject.
No, hey, reject. But yeah, because I was making the effort to at least start in French and try and then move to a language that I could actually speak. They just appreciated that I was putting in the effort, and they were nothing but polite to me. So I think across the board, if you're making an effort to engage with their ways, they appreciate it, and they're going to be nicer to you than if you come over and start just talking loudly and slowly and demanding that they understand what you're saying.
Just letting Reject know, we did have Hammer on earlier. He just had to go because honestly his setup was probably done for the night, and he sounded tired. But he did say hi to everyone. So if he was still here, he'd be like, "Hey, it's Reject. Hi, I'm okay."
He set up an illegal radio station to communicate with us. He had to dip before the feds came and confiscated it. You know how it is. And Reject says she's about to go to sleep, so good night. Frosty says yes, but was it really worth being nice to the French? Considering I was buying food from them, yes. There was significantly less spit in my food than there would have been if I was rude to them. And where was it? I saw Frosted was saying he does an uncanny Japanese accent. He does do a Japanese accent. That is true.
It really isn't just the black tourist thing. You're not wrong. Like it kind of is a subtype of a foreigner.
And Reject says, did everyone have a good April Fool's Day? I don't like April Fool's Day. None of the jokes are ever funny. Like if you're gonna do something funny, then I would at least respect that. But I'm seeing people like, hey, I'm a communist now. Just kidding, April Fool's. Like, okay, it's like, put some effort into it. Like, actually tell a joke, and then I'll appreciate it. But if it's just, saying something that everyone knows you don't believe, and then go, gotcha. Okay.
A lot of April Fool's jokes kind of fall flat. I think the one that I like the most, and I got this from a channel that I can't remember the name of. They said one of the theories on April Fool's was that it's supposed to be spring for most places. This is why it won't apply to you, Terry, because I think you're going into fall soon. But imagine that you're expecting spring and you got snow. Yeah, there's still snow. Yeah, sorry. That's a joke.
Yes. I like on The Simpsons where I think it was Flanders played a New Year's prank on Homer. And like this was like a flashback to like caveman times. And then they've got now who's laughing? Now who's and they've got like Flanders like on a stick rotating over a fire. JB says, did I know Christians died in the bombing of Nagasaki? I don't know anything about that. I know a lot of Japanese probably died, but not much more than that. And Six says he hates springtime. He does. He invented the holiday of Marchmas.
Yep.
Marchmas is where he sings Christmas songs in March, because it cheers him up, and he hates the allergies he gets in spring.
Because he's surrounded by trees that act like. Have you ever seen how the trees in the U.S. work on their cars? I'm sure you have some in your neck of the woods. I don't doubt that Jungle Time Australia has trees where 1 minute your car is white and the next minute it's an off yellow-green color.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a car, but the trees do lose their leaves in autumn.
Well, it's not the leaves; it's the pollen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some places in the U.S. where you watch people brushing it off or trying to get rid of it, and it's caked on. We don't necessarily have that problem here. There are some trees where, they might dust you a little bit, and a car wash will do it. But some places in the U.S. and you're just it's almost a cement. It's that thick.
Jeez, ugh.
It's gross.
I don't think I've ever had to deal with it. I don't think I've even when I was a kid, I don't think I ever saw our cars covered in pollen. I don't see pollen when I go outside the very rare occasions that I am forced to do so. So I don't think it's a thing down here, but I'm not the one to ask. I don't go outside, and that's where all the trees are.
Yeah, I imagine you probably do have the odd tree. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. But for us, it's a lot of different furs. Like different furs will have different pollen. I don't know the fruit trees. Like they have more pecans and fruit trees in the US. Like and my province doesn't do a lot of fruit trees in the first place. Like BC does a lot more orchards, so I don't know what orchards are like really.
And, we have Sheer Gorath in chat. I haven't seen you in a while. He says, if bullshit was an energy source, Anthony Albanese could power us for decades. Yes, I share your dislike of that man. I think the sooner that we get rid of this clown as the prime minister, the better. I am not a fan of him or his shitty political party. So
Yeah, don't let
Get rid of the
him do what Jacinta did and just run away to the next country where where you haven't fucked it over yet.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think she's too popular in Australia. Like she came over here, and I don't think anyone's happy about it.
They're like, we already have this problem. Fuck you. We don't need more of you.
Yeah. And hello to Sora, who is also joining us in chat. She's also living in the past. She says happy Wednesday when clearly it's 12:30 p.m. on a Thursday.
Every time they call you guys out for like racism on foreign policy, I think they really don't believe that you guys know your own history at all, because at no point have you ever been okay with any foreign invaders. Like I remember as a young Canadian looking into that, not to move, but to see about like, well, what how hard would it be to work in Australia for a year as a Canadian, and it is extremely hard. It is very hard. You can't just do that. Like your laws on people moving to your country have never been light.
Oh, and just to answer Shio, the account that you sent that picture to is one that I'm locked out of. Terry's Alt 2 is my current account because I got in trouble and they said I can delete the tweet or I can appeal it. I appealed it. That was in November of last year. They haven't gotten back to me yet. It still says that it's under appeal. But any day now, they'll be letting me know whether I can get my account back. I'm sure of it.
I try not to talk shit about BC too much, Sora, because my time spent there is limited to certain regions, and that does matter when you're talking provincial. But I was near one of the bigger lakes when I would visit a lot, and they had a hell of a lot of cypress trees. And I didn't know that they were the fir tree that would like give me the worst allergies of my life. So if I were to visit Japan, yeah, I'm buying whatever antihistamines they have because they like things like that. They like cypress trees because they like to build with cypress. It smells nice. It's a nice smelling wood. As weird as that sounds.
And Terry's saying that isn't Terry Diamantis. That's his cousin. my cousin's account. Totally different person. Yes, as it says, that account belongs to Guy Incognito. And not Terry Diamantis. It's very clearly spelled out in my bio. But yes, Shio sent me a picture of a car covered in pollen, and that stuff looks like it would be difficult to remove because it looks like it's quite a lot of it.
Yeah, it looks like it's been cemented on. Like there's so much of it. You're like, shit. How long did you leave it there? And somebody could tell you like 4 hours.
Yeah, geez. I'm once again glad I don't have a car and I don't drive. It's just one less thing for me to worry about. I don't have to deal with depollinating a car. And what else has been going on? Let me check Twitter, see if anything funny. Oh yeah, I actually got a lot of attention on a tweet because Andy Warski of all people, he posted something about in a past life he'd be excited about a Final Fantasy IX remake, but Square sucks now. And like I quote retweeted him saying, "I heard Worsky went insane or something, but this is an objectively correct opinion." And all of Worsky's fans were replying to me, and like I just thought that was crazy. It's like I got 38 likes on a tweet when like I usually average single digits. It's like
He
way more attention than I'm used to.
I have to give him credit. He has really turned stuff around on his kick channel. I can't I feel bad because his partner's really funny, but I keep forgetting his name. And I'm going to get it right one of these days. But the two of them just have a really good dynamic together, and they pin off each other in terms of humor. And in all honesty, I think the joke is like, yeah, for a little bit, Worsky was a locale. I'm not shading you, sir. I'm saying that you've come back from a hard place to be back in a good place again, and I'm happy that you're surrounded by better people. Because
Andy Worsky replied to me. He said, "Yeah, 7 years ago he was drinking and doing drugs, but he's chilling and sober now." And I just said, that's good to hear. Keep it up, because that is very difficult to do, to overcome that sort of addiction. And if he succeeded in doing it, congratulations to him. I know it's difficult, and I hope he maintains it.
I hope that his fans know that people bringing it up aren't throwing shade at him. The internet really doesn't forget. That doesn't mean that we don't forgive or anything like that. And I didn't judge him for being on it. I have a rule when it comes to drugs and liquor. If you are actually using me to fund that, I will pull away. And that's because I actually like you as a person. If I was your real friend in life, I would do that. I would tell you to your face, listen, I like you, but I feel like I'm feeding into your addiction, and I think it's going to kill you.
But see, I didn't know any of that because I watched Andy when he was making fun of Francesca Ramsey on MTV. I lost interest once he started doing the blood sports thing because I wasn't interested. So I heard, like literally, I heard people say that he went insane. And I had a vague memory of seeing him try to light himself on fire or his nipple on fire or something. And so that's why I said I heard he went insane. I didn't have anything to base it on. It's just I remember hearing it. And so he's like said, yeah, he was on drugs and drinking. It's like, oh well, that is actually very cool that he was able to overcome that, because a lot of people don't, and it destroys their life.
It's one of those stereotypes that I don't mean to have for Toronto, but I just tend to, because they do have there's a lot of places in Canada that have a drug problem. Like my city is big enough that, yeah, of course we have one too. But Toronto has one of those problems where you always know somebody who's doing something, and so there's a kind of a look. And there was a little bit of a point where when Andy would do his videos, you could tell that he was going through those motions, because it's gestures, it's how your skin looks. You just don't look very healthy when you're like that. Yeah. And then there was arguments between him and Chris, and I'm not, because I don't think they've ever patched things up. So I don't want to bring up hard feelings between people who were really good friends. But it was stuff that Chris said afterwards where I was like, yeah, I think Andy might be doing stuff that might be encouraging bad choices, which that's what drugs do. Right. And so, yeah, I'm actually really, I've been following him a little bit more over the last year because of drama that's been going on. Like Andy and his buddy follow a lot of gaming channels where like there was a lot of woke drama, like they were responding to DPS and a couple of other big names that I can't remember the name of. I remember their faces and not their names.
Right. I mean, that's fine.
But,
I assume you mean DSP. Yeah, because you said DPS, and I was like, does she mean Darkside Phil, or is there like someone
Darkside Phil? Yeah, Darkside Phil.
Yeah. I actually like Darkside Phil because he's such a bad loser. He's like so grumpy.
That's what everyone says. That's why a lot of people cover him.
Yeah. He's like such a whiny little bitch, and it's just like funny, like because I wouldn't watch an entire stream of it, but like the clips that I get on Twitter, it's like he'll lose at Street Fighter. It's like there was nothing I could do. He's just playing the pattern. He's a pattern fighter. He's like he goes online, he knows the one pattern that works, and he just keeps doing it. It's like, then if he's doing the same thing over and over again, why can't you stop it, dummy?
I gotta respond to Tier in chat. Because yeah, I probably do sound like a 90s After Girl special.
Yeah.
I don't know everybody. I remember at the time that I was following Andy, I admit a little bit of bias. See, I was following him because he was from Canada and he's from Ontario and Toronto. You know, those are big names in Canada. So like when you're talking about people from different places, yeah, you'll find that we follow each other because that's a way to get news from each other.
Right.
And that's another reason I stopped following him, is because, well, I follow him more now because he is actually more honest about like, he doesn't want to necessarily get into big Canadian politics, but he's more honest about shit going on up here. Which
Okay.
before, it was like pulling teeth to ask him like his opinions on what was going on up here. But just to make sure I'm responding properly because stuff happened in chat. No, I haven't watched Reefer Madness. It's kind of the thing, like, it's hard to know who's really. Yeah, I don't just follow people because they're Canadian, but the odd time I do, it's kind of a little bit of biasy. I'm like, oh, well, you know, I want to see one of us do well, you know.
And Frosted was saying that does DSP know is he in on the joke? If he does, he hides it exceptionally well. He comes across as if he is completely sincere in everything that he does. So maybe he knows, maybe he plays into it, but if he does, he hides it very well because he seems every bit the whiny little bitch that people accuse him of being, and it doesn't seem to be artificial. It seems to be he just genuinely is a whiny little bitch.
But Andy still covers other people. Like I said, I wish I could list them all because they're pretty big enough names that you guys would probably know them.
Yeah.
And it's just, he's come back to a place of common sense. And I don't know if, like I said, I think he has surrounded himself. He's distanced himself from whoever. When you're into drugs, and this is stuff that I've learned from people who've recovered from drugs, you really have to distance yourself from everything to do with that lifestyle because it has to be a lifestyle change to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can tell that he looks a lot healthier. He looks happier. You know, he's enjoying his jokes. He doesn't feel like his partner is going to backstab him. That's very helpful too. Like, you know, so I was happy to see somebody recover because there's a lot of people up here. In all honesty, my opinion of Canada is not very good. There's a lot of people I don't see recovering from drugs. So I like to see some people actually do it.
Oh yeah, like I said, anyone who's able to get clean and stay clean, I have a lot of respect for them. It's not an easy thing to do. I don't know that from personal experience, but just the common consensus is that it's very difficult to do, and I imagine that it would be very difficult to do. So yeah, anyone who's able to get clean and stay clean,
I also have to learn Buddy's name because calling him partner as many times as I have, if they ever watch this, I'm sorry. I didn't even, I keep doing this thing, Terry, where I'm saying words and yes, I'm woman-splaining, but then I reflect on him like, oh, I sound horrible.
Yeah, I don't know his co-host's name. I don't watch his stuff. JB says it's PPP. I don't know if that stands for something. I don't know if there's more to it than that, but apparently PPP is the guy's name. And Gunsky was saying maybe there's more to DSP than meets the eye. There's less.
I would say Blue Scream is not wrong. That was something that I thought about Andy for a bit, and I'm not meaning to throw shade. This is just, some people have this as a tick. He does trust people when I don't think he should. You know, like I think he comes from a position of, I don't want to be judged because I've done things in the past where other people would judge me. Right. And yeah, okay, that's true. But at the same time, I don't think any of the things he did were directed towards hurting other people. Like a lot of the drugs that he was taking, yeah, that caused him to hurt people, but he was hurting himself more than anyone else when he was doing that. That's why a lot of people pulled away, is because I don't think he genuinely goes out of his way to be hurtful. Like he tells jokes and yeah, he comes from the side of guys where the jokes get edgy. The edgier they are, the funnier they are. That's kind of how it's supposed to be.
but
Right.
that doesn't mean it's coming from a hate tone or like a place of like I'm trying to, hammer you over the head with my jokes. And I think he got into a crowd where he thought people were thinking similarly to him, and that's not been my Canadian experience at all, ever. No, like there's some people who are genuinely your friends, and then some people mean those jokes.
And she is excited because you mentioned edgy jokes, and
Neat.
he used to like sending them into Monkey back in the Lords of the Night days.
Made my night many a night. Yep.
Yeah.
Especially the ones where Monkey's like, I can't read that, Shio. You know I can't.
Well, I think a big part of what was happening there was Shio would send the message, I can't read that on the stream, Shio. Like that would be his actual message. So Monkey would be reading it verbatim, but it sounded like he said something so distasteful that Monkey was refusing to read it. So I think at least some of it was Shio trolling in that particular way. Frosty says, is he still streaming with the Asian guy? I'm pretty sure no. I think they had a falling out from the sounds of things. The guy that his brother Chris, Chris Worski. I'm 90% sure that they had a falling out and went their separate ways.
I have at least twice in their chat, and at no point did I expect them to just see it because their chats do get kind of big. But I did try to ask politely, whatever did happen, or is this something I'm allowed to ask? Because I'm not asking to be offensive or to be rude. I'm not wanting to get involved in their fight.
Right.
Even if all he said we had a fight and I don't want to talk about it, that would have been enough to just be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. That would answer the question. That's all the information you need.
Yeah. But he's never really responded to it. So I can't say with confirmation, but like it might be that hurtful of a thing that he doesn't want to. So I don't mean it to hurt his feelings. It really is just can I close this door or chapter in my head?
I mean,
yeah.
It's fair enough. I mean, if someone has had a falling out, they probably don't want to talk about it especially like if they don't know you. I don't know how well you and Andy know each other, but I'm assuming that you would be a
rando. I'm a complete rando. Yeah. So like I expected that, no obligation.
It'd be like if I asked Asmongold about, who did he kill his mother? Like obviously he didn't, but like I could understand like he doesn't know who I am. He would be right in like not seeing that as a sincere inquiry and taking it as an attack. And so I can understand like if they don't know who you are, and it could be interpreted as a malicious question.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand why they would just like not respond to it.
Yeah, that's a lot of it too. Like being lumped in with Ian Miles and Gunt and Tonka. But like I'm glad he's recovered from it. I don't think he burnt every bridge or like every bridge so bad, or I don't think everybody he met was as bad but a lot of them were. And honestly, I wouldn't respond to my question either. That's why I didn't have any expectations when I sent enter. It was just more of like, well, maybe I get lucky.
And to show how little I was aware of the internet blood sports era, I have heard of Tonkasaw and Ian Miles Chong, and I'm assuming Gunt refers to Ethan Ralph. I can't think of who else was involved, but I have not seen a single stream involving any of those people. I've never seen anything that Tonkasaw, Ian Miles Chong, or Ethan Ralph has ever done. So.
But yeah, that's the only reason I pulled away from watching Andy. Wasn't even because of the blood sports. Like, no, I didn't think a lot of the people involved were good, but
was it Andy who was supposed to get into like a boxing match with someone and went to the wrong city? Like he went to Knoxville instead of Nashville, or vice versa. Like the fight was in Knoxville and he accidentally went to Nashville, and it was something like that. He just went to the wrong city and like missed the fight. that he was supposed to go to?
Tonka.
Was he meant to fight Tonka? So is that what was happening? Okay.
I thought it was
but-
that, but I don't
No,
know.
I mean, I all I remember was that he went to the wrong city. Is like everyone was making fun of him because it was Nashville and Knoxville were like the two cities that he got mixed up.
Hey, it's from Canada. What did you expect?
Yeah, yes. And Blue White Scream says she still watches Adonis Paul. I don't know much about that guy. I think he might have been on Quippers once or twice. I know Ghastly was. I don't know much about Adonis Paul, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he was friends with Ghastly for a while, wasn't he? If I'm thinking of the right guy. Oh God, Shio says the breakup was over. Andy sexting questionably aged people. Oh boy, that's not a nice allegation to have.
No.
Six says that he and AP were beefing for a while, and yes, AP used. Okay, I am thinking of the right guy. Yeah. AP was the frog that I was thinking of. Ghastly and AP worked well together. So I've heard. I never saw them together. I know I've spoken to them. And I've definitely spoken to Ghastly because he was definitely on Quippers. I think Adonis Paul was on. I might have been one of Six's streams that I spoke to him. I'm like 60 to 70% sure I've spoken to AP at some point. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad that I was thinking of the right guy. Yeah, and Ghastly was on Clippers, and I think he was setting up the long con because he lost every game, and he kept claiming it was all part of his big plan to like his long con that he was gonna get the payoff eventually, and he just kept losing every game. And Gunsky says AP expressed interest, but was never actually on the show. Okay, so
Yeah, I got the impression that Tonka is the one who kind of bitched out more on that fight than necessarily Andy. Like,
Okay.
I don't know about Andy getting the cities wrong. He could have done that. Like, that's something that I could see somebody up here doing.
yeah.
But like my understanding is Tonka bitched out on those, and it was basically like pulling nails to get him to follow through on this fight, and it was supposed to be for charity. Like like the winner was going to be able to choose the charity of their choice, kind of thing.
Okay. And Frosted in chat is saying Ghastly was super good at patently stupid because he can draw so well. That not just that, he is exceptional at improv. Like he was talking just off the top of his head, and it was like second nature to him. Like everyone else kind of struggles a bit, but you would honestly think that he had pre-written this and rehearsed it, which obviously is impossible because you don't know what prompt you're going to get. But he was that good at just talking off the cuff that, yeah, he was phenomenal at that game. He was absolutely brilliant at it.
I just remember one of Eve's story, and she's way better at telling it. So like if we ever convinced her to join a stream or something, and she tells the story, she met Coach Red Pill at the Kill Choi event, and then he thought she was a woman, so he was hitting on her.
I mean, are we sure that he thought she was a woman?
Well, she claims he did. So like he was hitting on her, and
well, I'm not doubting that he was hitting on her. Was he hitting on her because he thought she was female?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to ask Eve again. I mean, she was there. She was the one.
We can't ask Coach Red Pill. So
no, we definitely can't. And I don't mean disrespect to him either. I think people's lives still matter. You know, he did things in his life.
I know very little about Coach Redfield. I know he got into a fight with Polly on Monkey in the Morning. That's it. That's my entire knowledge of Coach Redfield. It was a very funny fight, and I definitely enjoyed Far Zeusme did like an animation of that fight, which was extremely funny. But yeah, I don't know much about Coach Redfield other than that. He died in Ukraine.
Yeah. I'm not gonna laugh about that. That's horrible, but
I mean, I'm kind of on V's side with this, where he kind of deserved it. Like everything that he was doing, he could have done much more safely from a neighboring country. Like if he was going to sell Ukraine out to Russia, you don't do that in Ukraine. If you just do the exact same content from Poland, and you don't get arrested and die in a Ukrainian prison.
yeah. Well, he kept coming back to it too. Like I think
Yeah,
they gave him
yeah.
like several warnings. So
So yeah, it's not good that he died. I never wished death on the man, but it does seem at least partially self-inflicted that he had ample opportunity to not get arrested and to not die in a Ukrainian prison cell, but he opted against him. Yeah, Gunsky says CRP was never on the level. Odds are his death was in part his fault. Yeah, I fully believe it. I think V is absolutely right. He could have made the exact same content from a neighboring country. He had no real benefit to putting his life in danger by selling Ukraine out to Russia in the Ukraine. I think that was a colossal act of stupidity. And Shia says, speaking of questionable choices by former streamers, whatever happened to JF's girlfriend? I don't know. I know nothing about JF Garapi.
it is basically one of those mysteries up here where we all have question marks. We're like, did she get home safely, sir? Is she
The one thing I know about John was it John Francois is Scribe used to sing his name on Lords of the Night. You go, John Francois. Oh, I love Jean Francois. Like because it was a reference to the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
This is like some cook preparing fish, and he was like singing about La Poisson, and Scribe would sing John Francois to the tune of that song.
Scribe's great.
Scribe is hilarious. But yes, I think he was like a white nationalist. Is that what Garapi was famous for? I can't remember.
Yeah, he kind of is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think back. 10 years. I don't remember much of these people. Like these are people that I never watched. I only heard about them secondhand from Monkey. So I mean, I don't know the details of what they got into.
Like he was trying to play into the manosphere by being like, this is the kind of woman you want, stay at home, blah, 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 take care of your kids kind of type thing. And fair enough. But then he picked a potato.
Yeah.
And
Hitman Frosted is saying Scribe was a white nationalist. I don't think he's nearly based enough to be a white nationalist, no. I was referring to Jean Francois.
Le Quebecois guy. It was all like, you are just anti-French. You are racist against the French people.
And, JB says she ran away to the afterlife, so I guess she died. I don't know. I don't know anything about her. And Shio is telling a joke. I'm not seeing any reason why I can't read it out loud. So he says he ordered a croissant, and the waiter informed him it was a croissant. The T is silent. So Shio told him he was being a cun. The T is silent. But I'm Australian. I'm allowed to say cunt. YouTube, I'm Australian. I have the pass. And Frosty says racist Scribe would be kind of hilarious, actually. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Obviously, he's not. He's very far from it, but it would be very funny to hear him talking about, ugly monkeys get out of the country. That would be extremely comical. Terry has a C pass. That I do. It is my birthright as an Australian. On that note, on the note of the word cunt, it is actually 1:00 my time. So that's it. We've hit our time. So thank you all for coming out and joining the stream. Thank you, Jen.
Sorry for being a little bit late, but
That's okay. Thank you to Hammer for joining briefly and giving us an update. I'll see all of you guys next week. Catch you later.
have a good guys. Hope